Let's stick with the speculation. Let's make it a speculation special, mate. Valentine Holmes. We spoke about it real quickly on Rugby League Outlaws. Please check that out if you can. I've linked him
When
with
you can, not if you can.
when you
When you
can,
can.
not if. Good. I have a feeling that the Dragons want him and expect him. I don't think they're going to have it their own way. Where do you think Val ends up?
Valentine Holmes screams Sydney Roosters. Yep.
That's frightening.
He screams, there are no centres at the Roosters. They would be looking at the ghost of Billy Smith's legs, Junior Payoga, 58-year-old Michael Jennings, and a rugby convert. Now, you could go and slot Valentine Holmes into that centre spot, and you can say to the other three guys, there is a spot there for you, and then one of you will be the first winger up, and one of you will be the first centre up, and James Tedesco might get injured or have to go and fill in for Dylan Edwards, so there might be a game here or there for you. But he screams Sydney Roosters play. He's at that point in his career now, and I know he's got a real close relationship with Shane Flanagan. And I think that the circumstances around his departure from Cronulla would have been completely different had, the whole Flanagan story not been out and about and what was going to happen. But I know he's got a real relationship with Shane Flanagan, but he has to look at that Dragons team and go, okay, that is a rebuild. And whilst he is building nicely, because a lot of people had them for the wooden spoon, they're probably going to miss the finals. And they're not getting significantly better next year. Like, if they go and land Utua Kamanu, maybe it's a different story. But I don't think they're going to get him. But, he's probably looking at 2 or 3 years away just from having a crack at the top 6. Whereas, if he goes to the Sydney Roosters, he's in the top 4 out of 5 years. He's 29 years old. He'll be 30 next year. I think he screams 4-year deal, Sydney Roosters.
Jeez, I hope not, as a fan of not the Roosters. Look, I've seen a lot of Cowboys come out and say, good, let's move him on. I think, look, he's had a down year by Valentine Holmes standards, but it's still Valentine Holmes. Like, he's 29, he's not 33. I'm a little bit... Now, I think a lot of it's got to do with what the Cowboys do, whether they say, look, you can go next year or we're going to hold you to your contract, because it's for 2026. He's still contracted for 2025, although common sense says if he signs a deal, he's going to go try and get out early. I think that's what the Cowboys have hinted. I wrote earlier, I don't want to blow my own lead, hopefully it's out by the time this drops, that maybe the Cowboys are a power play here, and Val looks and goes, okay, look, the Tigers are going to offer me $1 million to play fullback, the Dragons are going to offer me the same, or I can take a pay cut and stay here because they're building something special up there. I mean, we make a lot of fun at the Cowboys' expense, but that's a much better team than either of those two options.
Yeah, look, it is. I think if he goes to the Tigers, but they've got Dream Buller, so I can't see them paying money for him, but he could go into the centres at the Tigers as well, and that gives them a real good back line. I just think if he is going to move, like the Dragons make no sense for him whatsoever. The Bulldogs make sense because, I mean, as good as Connor Tracy is would you turn around and say who's going to long-term fullback going to be, Connor Tracy or Valentine Holmes? The Roosters make the most sense for me if he is to leave. Take the relationship with Shane Flanagan aside, the Roosters make the most sense.
That's quite frightening, and I hope that doesn't happen. That'll be a fun one to watch. But
would you take him back
at Cronulla? Yeah, in a heartbeat. The romance of it all. Give him 2 years to win a premiership at fullback. Adam Fanua-Blake, Nico Hines at the peak of his powers. Absolutely.
So you're telling me that we can spot Will Kennedy for Valentine Holmes and the Cowboys, who shit on Will Kennedy from a great height. They can enjoy Will Kennedy and Scott Drinkwater and go to the centres.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. No, that would be perfect. Yeah, of course. Come back to Cronulla tomorrow. I'd welcome you with open arms.